All right, so back to the practice test for Unit 6. 18, what is the difference between interpolating and extrapolating? All right, so let me scroll this down just a little bit here. So interpolating, extrapolating. If you look at the beginning of these words, now they're not spelled exactly right, but interpolating, if you look at the beginning, enter. It's spelled a little differently than the enter we use when we talk about entering a room. But just think of it the same way. When you enter a room, you're on the inside. Extrapolating, kind of like exiting. When you exit the room, you're on the outside. So interpolating, that means to predict an amount that is inside of the data points. Anything that is inside of the data points. So, when I'm looking at this graph, and if somebody says, hey, what do you think the gallons of water would be that people drank in 1997? Well, that would be right here. And if I go up until I hit the line, and I go across, it looks like it's just a little more than 16. Notice how I'm inside of the data points. I'm inside of the lowest one and the highest one. It's like a range. If you're inside that range from the lowest to the highest, you are interpolating. And it means to predict, interpolation, is to make a prediction inside the data points. So this is interpolating. To make a prediction inside of the data points. Extrapolating, just like exiting or going to the outside, would be to make a prediction outside of the data points. So when that question earlier asked us to predict the amount of the year 2000, we were outside of the data points. We were outside of that range. So when we predicted the year 2000, right here in this question, number 12, we were extrapolating. We were predicting based on the trend line outside of the data range. That's an extrapolation. All right. All right, a survey of randomly selected 8th grade students explored the relationship between gender and participation in clubs. Okay? So, how many students were surveyed? Well, we're going to need to know the total. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the total of all of these categories and columns because I know I might need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And if I don't need all of them, so be it. But I'm probably going to need them. So, boys.
Teacher, students, pardon interruption. Please remember that today is the last day to claim anything on the lost and found table. It will be removed at the end of the day. We do have very special guests coming tomorrow from all over the world to visit our school. So please be sure that you are very well behaved and make good choices. And we're going to be sure that we're representing the country with dignity and respect. We hope that you have a great afternoon. Please go home and be safe when the bell rings. Thank you.
All right. So how many students were surveyed? 25. Because we add up all the boys that were surveyed and all the girls that were surveyed. 13 plus 12 is 25. All right. And we could also look at it this way. In a club, not in a club is also 25. What is the relative frequency of boys that are not in a club to the total number surveyed? All right, so when it asks for relative frequency, okay, that's a decimal, and we often kind of just turn that into a percentage. Many of you have had a teacher that grades papers, and then at the top of your paper or the top of your test, it will say how many you got right out of how many questions. So maybe you look at the top and it says that you got, I don't know, 21 questions right out of 24 problems. 21 right out of 24. Well, you want to know what your grade is. So what you have to do is 21 divided by 24. And let me use my calculator just as you would. Make sure I get that right. 21 divided by 24, enter. And I get 0.875. And so if we round that to the hundredths place, that would be 0.86. So in other words, if that was a test, you got an 86. You got 86%. Because remember, on a decimal, we just move it 2 places to the right, and that's the percentage. So you would have had an 86%. Well, we do the same thing with relative frequencies. And it says, in this case, what is the relative frequency of boys that are not in a club? So we got to find that. Boys not in a club. Well, here's boys. There's boys in a club, boys not in a club. So we're talking about this number right here, and it wants it compared to the number of people surveyed. So that's 9 people out of 25. That's like getting 9 questions right out of 25 on your test. Well, you just divide 9 divided by 25, and that is going to be 0.36. Okay, and I'll just double check. Yep, 0.36. So in other words, 36% if you want to talk in percentages. So our answer, and it would be good to write all of it, kind of show your work of how you got that, but the final answer is the 0.36. That is the actual answer. That's the relative frequency. Give 2 reasonable interpretations of the data. Well, to do that, it would be very helpful to find out the relative frequency of all of these pieces of data, okay? That's going to help me talk about this a little bit easier. Alright, so 4 of 25, so 0.48, 12, 16. And 10 of 25, 0.40. 14 of 25, it was 14 times. 14 divided by 25, 0.56. And 11 divided by 25, 0.44 right here. 2 divided by 25, 0.08. 13 of 50, or 13 divided by 50, 0.26. Oh, sorry, I don't know, hold on, back up. Check that, not 50, 25, all right. 13 divided by 25, 0.52. 12 divided by 25, 0.48. And then 25 of 25 would make 1 whole, so 1.00 or 100%. So those are the relative frequencies. And so when I'm looking at that to come up with 2 reasonable interpretations, I may want to look at students that are in a club versus students that are not in a club. It looks like more students, in fact it's certain, that more students are in a club than not in a club. And I can also tell that the girls make up about 40% of the members in the club, while boys are only 16%. So the girls are more than double the boys. They are 2 times more likely to be in a club. So that's one thing we can talk about. And then you